Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna and this morning we're visiting with Kevin Lyons. He's the Monroe County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Joanna.
Now, Kevin, this time of year, the leaves are gorgeous, but they will begin to fall and we will have some yard waste and different things. But you're going to talk today about maybe some solutions or things that we can do.
Yes, backyard composting is an option that we'll probably talk a little bit about, and it's pretty popular. It's always growing in popularity, seems like, but it's a good way to naturally recycle those materials that would normally go into a landfill. Plus, you're going to create a product that you can use around your home or your garden to help improve the soil, so it's kind of a win-win.
Absolutely. Now, when some people start to look at backyard composting, there's all kinds of gadgets that you can buy and kind of go from one end all the way to the other end of the spectrum. Is it hard?
It's not very difficult. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of practice, but it's not a very difficult process at all. You just kind of have to, it's kind of art once you get going with it, to learn how much moisture should be in there, how often you should check on it, what to add, what not to add. But it's a great way to recycle those lawn trimmings. If you trim and bag your grass, you don't necessarily have to do that, but your leaves, your household waste, it's an organic type. So you can just kind of learn as you go, but it's something that if you're interested in it, just give it a try. It's like everything else. There's different entry levels, price points. You can do it very simply with some concrete blocks, some cement blocks. You can just have it open, not have sides on it, just have the starter pile. Some people use wooden pallets and recycle the wooden pallets to use to kind of hold that in. But it doesn't have to be the really expensive equipment. You can do that if you'd like to, but it's very simple to start.
Okay, so what are the essentials? You mentioned that we would have to have some type of material, either leaves or maybe some grass clippings, and then we put them in a pile, and then we just add water to them? We
kind of start it that way. You kind of layer it. Some of the browns, it's termed is your leaves and your grass and some of that dead organic material that you can kind of come up with around your yard, your landscape. But then some of your greens in there, which is those scraps out of your kitchen and that type of thing. So that's about 3-to-1 ratio. It doesn't have to be exactly, but you want a few more browns in there than you do organic, the greens. And your moisture level, it may or may not need some, but most of the time when you start it will need you to add a little water to it. And it's kind of the consistency of a wet sponge is kind of where you want it. If it gets too wet, it'll go anaerobic and there won't be enough oxygen in there for it to decompose correctly, and it might start having an odor, and that sometimes turns people off. But like you said, turn it with a pitchfork, turn it with a shovel, just to kind of keep it mixed up, maybe about once a week while you're going through that process. Let some air inside, add a little water. If it's too dry, add some more material if it's too wet. It'll take you a few weeks to go through that process, and some of that depends upon the outside temperature and how much rainfall is getting on it, that kind of thing. But normally 8 to 12 weeks you should have a good start, and then shortly after that you'll have your finished product, your humus or your compost.
And then you can take that and use that in your gardens or in your flower pots.
Yeah, there's multiple uses for it. It's not really so much a fertilizer. It's kind of classified as a soil amendment. It helps improve the structure of your soil, open it up so you get more air and water into your ground. It will have a little bit of nutritional value to it, but mostly it's just used to, you can also mulch with it if you like to, whatever you need to do with it. But it adds a lot to your soil structure. Helps improve that. Helps improve you want earthworms. It helps keeps those things going. It just helps open up your soil and keep it a better structure.
Absolutely. And now you mentioned food scraps, and I do want to caution people, you don't want to use meat food scraps, but fruits and vegetable food scraps are great, because we've had calls, people saying like critters would get into it, so we don't want critters in it. But
we have a great publication on it that can kind of give you some more tips and guidelines on how to start your compost pile. UK has a good pub for that.
All right, Kevin, we'll appreciate the information. And if you have questions about composting, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.